Okay, church, it's that time of day where we come together. It could be your morning, your noontime, or even evening, where we come together to do a daily devotionals. My name is James, and I'm one of the adults at Harvest LA. And we're going to go through Matthew 22, verse 1 to 14, about the parable of the wedding banquet. Okay, let's do this. Matthew 22. Jesus spoke to them again in parables, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a king who prepared a wedding banquet for his son. He sent his servant to those who had been invited to the banquet to tell them to come, but they refused to come. Then he sent some more servants and said, 'Tell those who have been invited that I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and fattened cattle have been butchered, and everything is ready. Come to the wedding banquet.' But they paid no attention and went off, one to the field, another to his business. The rest seized his servants, mistreated them, and killed them. The king was enraged. He sent his army and destroyed those murderers and burned their city. Then he said to his servant, 'The wedding banquet is ready, but those I invited did not deserve to come. So go to the street corners and invite to the banquet anyone you find.' So the servants went out into the streets and gathered all the people they could find, the bad as well as the good, and the wedding hall was filled with guests. But when the king came to see the guests, he noticed a man there who was not wearing wedding clothes. He asked, 'How did you get in here without wedding clothes, friend?' The man was speechless. Then the king told the attendants, 'Tie him hand and foot and throw him out into the darkness where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are invited, but few are chosen.'" Okay, let me see if I can break this down for us. Now, 1 to 14 talks about a king who's throwing a wedding banquet for his son. And there were first a group of people that the king invited, but they didn't come because they had other things they wanted to do, like attend their fields and go whatever, do whatever they want. The second group of people basically mistreated the king's servants, beated them, and even killed them. And then there's a third group of people, and they came. Okay, and let me see if I can break that down. The king. Let's just say that's God, and let's say the God is throwing a wedding banquet for his son, Jesus. This original story, from what I'm studying and reading, was originally meant for the Jews. The first group of Jews um, basically just didn't want a part of the party. They didn't want to be a part of the banquet. Um, so they just did their own thing. The second part of the invitation went to Jews, um, but they rejected and even beaten and killed um, um, God's servants, prophets that came to preach about Jesus, to share about the good news. And then, switching gears, God says, "Okay, I got you. I prepared this banquet, but if you don't want to come, then I'm going to invite everyone else, the poor, the rich." And this is where it gets interesting. So originally it was for the Jews, and then now it's for the Gentiles. It's for you and I. The story is now being universalized to say, God's inviting not just the chosen people, but He's inviting everyone to His banquet, uh, as long as those who believe, and as long as those who receive Him. And what's funny is at the banquet when it was full, there was another incident where there was a person where the king noticed and went up to and asked him how come he wasn't in wedding clothes, and he couldn't answer him. And from what I was reading, um, that was basically trying to say that there are going to be people who are not ready, um, who have not completely um, committed themselves to Jesus Christ. And those people, they're not going to be at the wedding. Said they're going to be thrown out. And what I'm thinking is, Okay, how can I apply this? Okay, I thank you, God, for opening up uh, this invitation to the world, to the nation. Um, but I'm kind of thinking, well, what if I was the person that didn't have the wedding clothes when Jesus comes again? And what can we do to challenge ourselves, to press on, to trust in God in spite of the difficulties in our lives, to trust in God when there are worries and concerns or when things don't make sense, to trust in God and to have that peace of mind that God is big and can take us even through the hard times. Um, Doing this daily devotion reminded me of the Bible study that I was researching on regarding Joseph and the King of Dreams. It's kind of like the DreamWorks movie where he was basically his father Jacob um, basically favored him among all his brothers. So his brothers got envious, jealous, angry, and hated him for it. And instead of forgiving him, um, he got stripped of his robe, thrown into a pit, sold to traders into Egypt, accused of something he did not do, and suffered. But yet, he never lost his character. He never gave up on God. Instead, he trusted in Him and he had faith in Him. And he pressed on. And um, God showed Himself um, throughout his life, even showed him peace at the end. And I want to encourage you guys that as we go through Matthew 1 to 14, we are, for brothers and sisters, we are all going to be in that wedding banquet. Um, but it is my encouragement to all of us that we don't want to be like that. We try not to be like that last person who actually didn't have the wedding clothes. Um, and on the day of the wedding, going to be thrown out. So I want to encourage you and myself to press on to wherever you are at. If you're struggling in your faith, if you feel like you're too far from God's forgiveness, don't believe in those lies, but instead take a step forward, take a leap of faith, and press on with your community, with your church, to find that strength, to find that encouragement, to find that peace of mind, to trust in God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your strength, and with everything that you are. That in this season you can grow even more and have abundance of joy and peace and hoping that there's a there's a light beyond the tunnel, and God will be that to carry us and to support us. So with this encouragement said, let me say a little prayer and hope you guys have a great day, afternoon, or even night. Okay, let's do this. Father, we thank you that each day you could reveal to us something new. I do pray that you would help me to open up. You would help me to trust in you and to have faith that you are beyond impossible. You are the possible. Uh, you are the answer, even when things don't make sense, and when hearts are struggling, when roller coasters of emotions fly up and down. Help us to find our grounding in you. Help us to find our community to be an encouragement to and for. I pray that, Lord, for each and every one in this season, that as we get through what an interesting year and a half it is, that you would help us to even um, grow our faith in spite of the difficulties that we are facing. For those who have lost their jobs, for those who have lost a loved one, for those who are in hard relationships, for those who are in uncertainties of their place in you, for those who just needs a little more social interaction and really tired of COVID lockdown. I do pray for this and so much more that as we continue to, as you invite us into your wedding, help us to always continue to work until the wedding day, until the banquet, and help us to always find a way to trust in you. In your son's name, we all say, amen. Okay, guys, have a good day, and hope to see you once again. Until then, press on, press on, press on.